Hello, and this is my permaculture design project that I wanted to share with you, though I have many things that I don't feel they are finished, but it's soon the end of our class, and I wanted to give it back what I learned about. My project is called Growing Roots. This is one of our goals. It is located in Waco, Texas. I'm from France and moved here 4.5 years ago. Um, and We had three goals with my husband at the beginning. It's a place where our kids can grow, be prepared to become responsible adults, and maybe sometime come back with their own families. So that's where the title is, Growing Roots. Also, I wanted to become more familiar with Texan nature to feel more like home here, though my country of origin is France. And I also wanted my garden to be a way to connect with my friends, my neighbors, and find my new community here. Um, so here's the project. Um, as far as the zones, we lived a lot inside the house, and so there were no actual zone outside. It was just zone three, where we would go sometime, and then some places zone four. So I really want to have a proper zone zero inside the house, like taking really more care of the whole house, and then spend so much more time outside and like expanding the zone one and the zone two, um, still keeping a zone four. I'll show you a bit later. We are in a humid subtropical climate, so it's pretty hot most of the year. We have a very hot summer, a nice spring and fall, so that's two growing seasons uh, with a lot of rain. So it's a lot of rain in 1 month and then a drought for long weeks. Not much wind because we are pretty protected inside the city limits, and the house is about north-south facing. So in the south, we have one big front window that takes the sun in the winter. The summer sun is shaded by those big two oak trees that shades the whole half of the house here. And at the north, we have very big windows, but as they are to the north, few sun comes in, but in summer mornings. Um, So I studied a lot about the water catchment, how to catch rainwater, how to keep it on the land and not just in a rain barrel, as I was taught in some class here in Waco. Um, my main goal is to orient all water from the roof. So here there is already a small rain barrel, but I would like to connect it to some dripping system to irrigate the veggie beds. That part of the roof, instead of just throwing the water away to the backyard, I want to build that big rain garden to make my front yard pretty with lots of flowers and edible plants. This big part of the back roof is now just puddling here and then going nowhere in the backyard. And I want to orient the water to irrigate fruit trees in my fruit forest. Um, and keep the water as long as I can on my land, without not just letting it go to my backyard neighbor. And the last part of the roof here on the house and here on the carport to collect it. Worst case scenario, just orient it to more fruit trees. Best case scenario, I can get a big cistern to and then filters to make it drinkable, and transform that room into a living, a habitable room and drinking water. So it's not done, but that's the big things I want for the roof catchment. Then here would be a gray water catchment system with constructed wetland to catch the washing machine gray water. And here there is another bathroom where we could easily catch the gray water and use it probably in the backyard or just keeping it inside and use the gray water from the bathtub to the toilets. Easy systems needs to happen. I let you go to over all my maps, but what I wanted to say is that I'm a beginner gardener um, in any kind of environment, but even more here in Texas. So I'm learning as I'm planting and making many mistakes, though I try to listen to the people who know here. But here's my implementation plan. So I already have a few raised beds, so I just changed their orientation this summer. So I have 3 now, but I want to have more and plant more veggies and herbs and flowers, something mixed. You can go at the end of the presentation. I made a try at listing species, though I know it's going to change a lot. And then prepare and then plant the food forest, like a walk around my backyard. The goal is to keep in the middle a space of lawn, so my kids still have a space where they can run and play ball or whatever they want to play. In the phase 1, there is also a lot of planning of species for the rain garden, the herb patch, but they will happen in phase 2. So here is an herb and flower patch that's along the fence. I have a wooden fence all around and they're ugly looking, so I want to dress them with plants. Here I already began to plant some bushes, and there are already lots of bushes and small trees, but I want to have more and make them with more edible species. In phase 2, I also will dig that rain garden. I'm sure I will find surprises as I have a sprinkler system in the front yard, and the ways the pipes are going is always astonishing to me. So I'm gonna have to deal with that, and as much as I would like to plan it, there will be surprises, but that's phase 2. And then continue to maintain what's already in place. And progressively, but surely, I want to have more and more borders with my neighbors, though we have good relationships. I don't want them to think my wildflowers will cast over their green grass. Um, but I also want some privacy, though we have good relationships. Definitely, I want to dress the fence at the backyard. About the building, we plan to improve its energy efficiency by improving insulation in the roof, probably in the walls. I'm discovering how Texan buildings are made. I will try to find people who can help me build and implement that as I would say green, though it's not the word, as I can. But living in Waco, we are a very classical town, and that's a difficult point. And in phase 3, when we have already improved the whole house energy efficiency, maybe we'll make our own energy with solar panels, but that's gonna come at the end. And a small bench here to enjoy my front yard. Here are all the species lists. I will have you go over if you want to. Climates. I just want to take a few minutes on my personal boundaries and the evaluation of all that work. It took me a year and a half to do it, plus the 6 first months on another project that I let go of. And my biggest boundaries is time. I thought I had a lot of it because I wasn't working anymore since I come here in the US. And actually, I became a mom of two children. I got a part-time job. I'm taking care of the house, and in fact, my time is not endless. And that was a big boundary that I discovered that I need to respect more. Um, Another very big boundary is my own dark zone. Um, and that's something that is getting better, but that will still be here at some point, and that I need to acknowledge and work with. So sometimes I'm just in a dark mood, and that's the way it is, and I need to respect that, and I won't just create a whole thing in one night anytime. Um, So implementation, if you need the link, I can share it with you. But basically, I had times like tomorrow I should be finished with phase one, and it's absolutely not finished. But it's progressing, and I know I'm in a good um, I'm a good start for that. Um, Here are some pictures of phase one that already began. That's our front yard. During the past summer, we got lots and lots and lots of cucumbers. We got tomatoes and tomatillos, and we got to make our own salsa verde with the kids, and that was super fun to prepare food with our own uh, vegetable from our own garden. My first watermelon, and then time is also a constraint when you garden with kids because they take time to do something. And but yeah, that's one of the guilds we began, and that's my fig tree. And yes, it's catching water, so I was pretty happy with that. Maintenance plan, it's here again. I know it's gonna change as I learn, as I implement more and more things. As far as evaluation, my goals are already partly fulfilled, so I'm really happy with that. I think I would like to add a new one, which would be food self-sufficiency, or at least resilience. And that pandemic made me really think about that. So we are now part of a CSA with a local farm. I'm volunteering time there, and it's connecting us to our land, to the land here, and that is a very good feeling. This project is happening very, very slowly, but very, very surely. Meanwhile, I also found out that I'm not a homeschooling mom, so my kids will go back to school, though they will still be after school in the garden. I won't be a full-time farmer or homesteader. I found out that I love to make cheese, and especially French cheese, and I will use the permaculture tools to design my cheese making adventure. Thank you for this class, and thank you for your feedback. If you can give me some, I would really appreciate it. And I hope this brings something for people who are not great at drawing maps, and who are not just full-time gardeners and experimented gardeners at the beginning.